こんだけ集めるのに何十年。
Dr. Stone Science Future. Why does no one talk about Dr. Stone? Especially the latest season. Because if you watch the latest episode, they left us off on the big cliffhanger. Also, spoilers for those of you guys who don't watch the series or do care or don't care. Senku got shot. And that was it. And that's where they leave us off on the cliffhanger. We don't know if he's dead. We don't know what happened to him. But if you've read the manga, then you know where this is going. And it's Dr. Stone, guys. Does death even matter in this series? I know people like to complain that death doesn't really matter in like a lot of series, like Dragon Ball and whatnot. But Dr. Stone is very notorious for doing stuff like this, like, oh, we're gonna kill someone off, blah blah blah. But yeah, so with the latest season of Dr. Stone, I do like how we get a further expansive narrative on like the world building of the series, because if you're not familiar, like the first two seasons, we were stuck on Japan exploring the entire country of it, while the third season we went to, I forgot which island it was, but to a different island to discover the secret behind the astronauts and the petrification device, and that's how we got to learn what the Medusa was. And in the final season of Dr. Stone Science Future, we see Senku exploring the world to finally uncover the secret behind the petrification, what happened to humanity, which leads him to North America and coming into conflict with one of his former former teachers, Dr. Zeno, and his lackey Stanley. Stanley is this ex-military type of guy. Dr. Zeno's is this mad scientist, and he's pretty much on this warpath. In the latest episode, we got to see him remember his flashback with Senku saying, "Oh yeah, I remember that kid. It's a shame I gotta kill him. A darn shame." And Stanley's out for blood, man. Like, this man, all he does is just smoke all day and just wanna shoot bullets. And I really like how this episode emphasized the fact that we got to see his origin. Like, the past two episodes we got to see, or was it 3 episodes, we got to see his origin, his background, and how he worked at NASA from his perspective, how once he was out of the petrification device, out of his stonification, he decided, alright, I'm gonna rebuild my men. And unlike Senku, unlike his origin, he's pretty much gonna arm up his men, build weapons from scratch, and take over the rest of the planet, just reclaim America under his type of thing. Which is pretty cool, because compared to Senku, where he uses his knowledge of science to revitalize the people around him, to revitalize society, civilization, he wants to save all of humanity. He wants to do humanity justice. Dr. Zeno, on the other hand, just kind of wants to rule everything and destroy anyone in his path. And right now, there's a conflict of interest that Senku cannot give the knowledge of how to unstone people to Dr. Zeno, because if he does that, it's pretty much over for the kingdom of science. For one, the kingdom of science doesn't have the ability, like resources, it doesn't have the manpower, it doesn't have the home field advantage, but they do have the speed, they do have like semi-better fighters, while Dr. Zeno's forces, the American team, has significantly more firearms, more manpower, more production means. Basically, they can overpower this invading force, aka the kingdom of science. I do like how so far we've been introduced to these characters. Zeno, the past couple of episodes, how one wants to use knowledge for war and profiteering, while the other one wants to use it for advancement, for restoring what humanity once was. It is such an interesting dynamic compared to some of the other previous seasons where, yeah, there's conflicts. There's always been conflicts regarding science, but now Senku actually has to deal with someone of equal, if not greater, scientific knowledge, which is honestly very interesting, because in a lot of ways, Zeno, as I can never say his name right, Dr. Zeno Houston, I think it was Houston, yeah. I forgot what I was saying, but this guy is pretty much like the polar opposite of Senku. It's what if Senku kind of saw the world a little bit differently? If he didn't have his father figure, would he still be the man that he is? Would he still be the empathetic person that he is? And it honestly answers that morality question of, if I have this knowledge, am I cursed with knowledge? It is essentially that one story from the Greek pantheon where they steal fire from the gods, and what do the humans do with the fire of the gods? Obviously they create war, they create a lot of like bloodshed, and they create a mess out of it. I really forgot what the story was, but you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Where the gods give man, or when the servant steals fire from the gods, and a bunch of stuff happens. That's pretty much right here. Science can either be used for good or bad, and we have two polar opposites. We have two polar versions of each other trying to one-up each other, and it's really interesting, especially with the cliffhanger, how Stanley was able to deduce. Alright, that's Senku. I gotta off him, and yeah. But overall, to me, the latest season of Dr. Stone has been really great. I just love that emphasis on science, what's good, what's right, and I'm really excited to see what's more is going to happen with this series, because it's like one of the longest seasons of Dr. Stone, and it's a final season. I hope they do it justice, and you guys should be watching Science Future because it is criminally underappreciated. Dr. Stone is underappreciated. It needs more love. I'll continue to post more Dr. Stone content, but yeah, that being said, go watch Dr. Stone because it is so good right now. It's like the best thing. Like, this arc is literally one of my favorite things. Well, once they hit the South America, it's like the best thing ever. There's like a whole conflict, there's like a bunch of war, but if you guys haven't read the manga, don't want to spoil it, but go watch it, please, because I need more people to go watch Dr. Stone. Go to the series. So yeah, I'll catch you guys on my next one. Peace.